Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Audrey from the French Chamber of Commerce, and I'm welcoming you for this joint webinar that we actually held with the EU SME Centre. Just before starting, I would like to make a short presentation of the EU SME Centre so that you better understand what is the purpose and the missions of this centre. So this is an EU-funded project that established the EU SME Centre in 2010. And the main purpose and the main missions of this center is actually to help SME in Europe to develop and strengthen their commercial activities here in China. This is, well, they have several missions for that, and they can propose several services. Everything is accessible on their website so that you can have a better idea of their missions here. It relies on a consortium that actually gathers few chambers like the British Council, the Italian Chamber, the Bencham, the French Chamber, and also the Euro Chambers and the European Chamber. Then I would like just to let you know that there is a questions panel that is on the right of your screen, and you can use this panel as much as you want during the webinar to ask all the questions you have or to make some comments. And some of those questions will actually be answered through a written chat, and the others will be asked to the presenter directly, to the speaker, sorry, directly. Then I would like just to say a few words about the topic of today. It's about the digital marketing in China. This topic is a very interesting topic in China because the digital marketing doesn't look like any others in the world. So I think it's a really interesting topic, and to make you better understand how this is going on and how to actually target and reach your how to reach your targets, you will have all the tools, I think, through this presentation made by Cyril Drouin, that I would like to thank you for making this presentation today. Cyril is a French entrepreneur who actually founded and is now managing Bysoft China. He is in China for since maybe 17 years or 18 years. He is one of those specialists of e-commerce and digital marketing in here because he is quite often invited to the conferences or workshops that take place in China and all over the world. He is also one of the trainer that is actually able to provide you with all information regarding e-commerce and digital marketing. So now I will give you the floor, Cyril, and thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, Audrey, for this introduction. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
I guess so. All right then. Okay. So let's talk about digital and e-commerce in China, but specifically about digital marketing in China. Let's have a look at the market first. We have 45 minutes and maybe 15 minutes of question and answers, which is quite short for a market as big and as different as the Chinese market, but we will try to make it short. So in terms of market insights, so China, it's 1/5 of the world internet users of the world, which is quite a lot. Around like 650 million internet users here in China. Which is interesting here is the penetration rate, only 47.9%, which means you still have half of the population which has no access to the internet in China. Okay, so we expect these figures to go up to like 1 billion something within 3 to 5 years. Okay, and which is even more interesting is the number of mobile users. Okay, penetration rate is crazy. Basically, you can consider like a new internet users will be a mobile user in China. In terms of internet user metrics, internet users in China are very young. Okay, this is one of the youngest internet users of the world. Okay, you have over 80% of internet users which are below 44 years old here in China. Okay, which means if you do digital marketing or if you do e-commerce in China, if you target old people in China, if you target senior people in China, internet is not the right place to be. Okay, your target audience is very, very young in China. Let's have a quick look on mobile phone versus desktop. So how Chinese people access the internet in China. Actually, now we have more audience. Okay, you will have more traffic from mobile and from desktop. Okay, the switch has been done last year. Okay, so now you have more people accessing the internet in China through a mobile phone compared to a desktop. This is very important for digital marketing. This is very important for advertising because it means you will need to have a mobile specific strategy. You will need to have mobile advertising in China, or you are not going to reach all the internet users.
Cyril? Let me
Yes.
interrupt you. I just have a question which is quite interesting. One of the participants is asking how exactly the penetration rate.
For what? For
the Chinese market, I
mobile,
guess. Or for the mobile or desktop. Maybe if you have an idea of both of them, that would be great.
Actually, mobile, it's almost 100%, but it's 100% of 49%. Which means like you still have 49% only of the internet population which has access to the internet.
Right.
But most of the internet users in China are using internet through mobile. Okay, they may have two screens. They may have one screen which is a mobile phone, and they may have another screen which is a desktop. But you can assume in China that everybody which owns the mobile phone access internet through a mobile phone.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, in terms of market, so China is an Android-based market. Okay, iOS is quite large in China, especially in Tier 1 city. Okay, so Tier 1 cities in China are Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou. Android is like 72, and iOS is like 26. Okay, but mass market in China, it's Android-based.
Okay. Just, I think now, Cyril, it's time to launch the first poll. So to the participants, you will have a question that will appear on your screen. And please you have a few seconds to answer the question, do you have a website in Chinese? So if yes, you just click on yes. If no, you just click on no, of course. So we will close the poll. Thank you for your answers. So the answer is that, yeah, there is more people that doesn't have any website in Chinese. Do you have any comment regarding this, Cyril?
So basically, yes, I can't see it clearly on my side. So no is like how much, and yes, it's how much?
The yes is 44% and the no is 56, sorry.
So basically, if you want to do any digital marketing in China, you will need to have a Chinese website. Okay, so if you don't have it, this is one of the first steps.
Okay, thank you. We can go ahead with your presentation.
And when I say Chinese, I mean hosted in China and most probably only in Chinese, not Chinese, English, and everything. So let me start again on my side. Okay. So just as a reminder, in China, no Google, no eBay, no Facebook, no Twitter, no PayPal, absolutely nothing you know basically out of China exists in China. Okay, it's completely blocked, so don't expect even to use any Google services from China. Is blocked. Okay, so you don't use any Google services, any Facebook services, any eBay, any PayPal in China. For each player you have in the rest of the world, you have a local player here in China. Okay, so Tmall, for Amazon we have Tmall, for eBay we have Taobao, for Google we have Baidu, we have Sanliaoning, for PayPal we have Alipay, for Facebook and Twitter we have Wechat or Weibo, for YouTube we have Youku and Todo, etc., etc. Okay, for each player exists in the Western world, we will have a player here in Chinese. Most of those players are not exactly the same. Like Tmall, definitely it's not Amazon, not at all. Okay, but it's still doing e-commerce. Baidu, and we'll talk about that, it's not Google. It's very different, but they are still doing search, etc. And definitely WeChat is not Facebook at all. Okay, but they are still a social network in China. This one is just to show you what are basically the internet usage in China. Some are specifics in China. I just want to emphasize two of them. One is called BBS. Okay, BBS stands for Bulletin Board System. Bulletin Board System is like forum or whatever. Okay, and then Chinese people they spend around 6 hours every week on BBS. So which means it's a very good channel, especially for content marketing. Okay, another one in China is video. Video, it's everywhere in China right now, and Chinese people they watch video everywhere. When you go in the subway or whatever, they watch video. Okay, so for a brand, when they would like to do advertising, video websites, definitely it's a place to be.
Okay.
Let's talk
now
specifically.
Yeah, sorry, Cyril. I think it's time to launch the second poll. And the question is, are you a regular Baidu user? And so, well, you just have to click on yes or no. If, as Cyril said, Baidu is the Google here in China. And well, if you are in the Western world, of course, you might have not access to this before. So we can close the poll now, and we can see that 61% of the participants are not regular users of Baidu, and 39% are actually. So, well, I'm quite surprised about these results.
Yeah, me too. Which means you have some of the attendees are Chinese.
Yes.
Baidu is only in Chinese. Baidu is only in Chinese. So definitely we have some Chinese audience. Let me start again on my side. Okay. Starting, it's a bit slow. Sorry, it's internet connection here in China. Okay. The first thing first is Baidu is not Google. I guess you know that. In terms of market share, okay, Baidu owns around 60% market share in China. So around 26%, and Sogu around 14%. Okay, so now it's called Haosu, and Sogu is 14%. Sogu is important for one reason, and especially if we have Chinese audience, because this is the only way you can find WeChat public accounts index. Okay, if you want to search something from WeChat data, this is the only place you can find WeChat data, is Sogu. Okay, because Sogu belongs to Tencent, and WeChat belongs to Tencent. In terms of mobile search market, okay, this is last year in June, Baidu owns the market on mobile. That's why Baidu is so powerful in China. Okay, remember, most of the new internet users are mobile users, so definitely Baidu owns this market. So Baidu basically owns the new users in China. Let's have a look on some Baidu services, especially for those who never use Baidu or who doesn't really understand Chinese. So Baidu Zhedu News, this is the largest news portal in China in terms of unique visitors every day. Okay, the slide is not on yet, I know that, so just wait. It's a bit slow. Come on. Okay, Baidu Zhedu. So Zhedu News, Baidu Zhedu as well, what we call Baidu Tieba, okay, which is my next slide, which is a BBS and forum. So Baidu Tieba is the largest BBS here in China. For your information, it's around like 150 million views every day. Okay, yes, you heard me well. It's 150 million views every day. It's absolutely huge and absolutely massive. Okay. They do Chedao, which is like question and answers. Okay, so this is the largest question and answers website in China. Okay, and Chedao is around like 15 million every day, 1.5. Okay, 15 million. So it's 10 times less, but it's still quite a lot now, because I'm talking about like a daily user views, not a weekly, not a monthly or whatever. It's a daily. They have a music as well. They have a music panel as well. Okay, so this is one of the largest music board in China. Okay, so you can share music in China. They have image as well, like Google have. Okay, Google has exactly the same. It's a bit different with Baidu. It's more like topic based, and it's more like organized. It's not only based on search.
Cyril?
They have video. They have one of the largest video portal of China. Yes.
Just a question from the participants. It's how can Google still has 1.7% market share regarding the figures you just provided?
Google, they don't have search anymore in China. They don't do search anymore in China. They are only for advertising. Okay, you can still buy some, like we call, I'm going to talk about this, but Google Display Network, Google AdSense. Okay, it's Google DoubleClick. They still have some Chinese network here in China. That's why they have part of the market share.
Okay, thank you.
But in terms of search, you don't do search anymore in China with Google. A bit with like foreigners, like when they use a VPN access. Okay, so they have very small number of people still using Google here in China.
Okay. Just one more question that is asked, but I assume that you will answer this later. It's how can I advertise my banners in their sites, in Chinese sites, I guess?
Yeah, okay, so I have a full advertising presentation right after the presentation now. So just give me like 5 or 10 more minutes, and I will go through it.
Thank you, Cyril.
So Baidu, they do Biker as well. Okay, they do Wikipedia. This is the largest Wikipedia. This is the largest Wikipedia in China. This is one of the only one. This is 25 million unique visitors every day. Okay, 25. They do slide share as well. It's called Wenku. Okay, it's a slide share, but it's a bit different. But it is one of the places you can share and you can find a lot of documents. So once again, the slide is a bit slow. Okay, you should have it now. And they do marketplace as well. Okay, so you have a marketplace, but it's not a shopping mall. It's a marketplace. Okay, so when you click on the product here, then you go to the website. Okay, or you go somewhere, but they don't sell anything. Okay, on their behalf. It's going to change. Baidu has announced they are going to launch a Baidu Mall. Okay. By the end of this summer, and they do much more. Okay, Baidu in China, they are everywhere. They do travel website, they do analytics, they do GPS, they do a lot of things. They are on TV. They are one of the largest pay-per-click TV in China called iQIYI. So you have a lot of services from Baidu. Baidu are very big. They are really everywhere in China. Let's have a look on the typical Baidu page. Okay, this is a typical one. So on the top part, I think you don't see the slide yet. Okay, it should be on now. On the top part, you have what we call Baidu P4P. So basically, Baidu P4P is like Google AdWords. It's exactly the same. Okay. Then you have something interesting. It's like Baidu organic results, so natural. But have a look at this. You have Biker, you have Chedao, then you have shopping mall, then you have Biker again, then you have Biker again. So, which means on the first page of Baidu, most of the times, okay, especially on competitive keywords, on search keywords, most of the times you have only Baidu websites. Okay, so for you it's going to be complicated to have your website on the first page of Baidu. Okay, because Baidu on their first page most of the time for competitive keywords they have only Baidu websites. Okay, on the right you have paid search again, so it's PPC again here. Then you see this is this natural search volume by search volume, which means like people they search for coffee, they search for this as well. Okay, so this is not something you can pay here. This is not advertising. Okay, this is search volume based. Then you have word of mouth content. Okay, coming from Baidu websites again, so it can be like Baidu Chodao, but mostly it's Baidu Tieba. And then you have paid search again. Okay, and then you have paid search at the bottom. So it's PPC again. So it's like AdWords, Google AdWords. Okay, so basically what we can say like Baidu results are not natural at all. Not natural at all. Okay, Baidu, it's not a search engine as you know from Google. It's completely different. Okay, definitely if you want to put something on the first page of Baidu, it's not going to be your website. Okay, it's going to be an advertising, which I'm going to give you a full overview of how you can advertise on Baidu, and it can be maybe not your website, but something you can put inside the Baidu website. So it can be your biker, it can be one question you ask in Chodao, it can be like one topic you post in Baidu Tieba, whatever. Okay, but mostly not your website.
Cyril, does Baidu have like
Yes.
a Google Analytics tools, like not a Google Analytics, but a tools, an analytic tools like Google has?
Yes, so Baidu has a tool called Baidu Tongji, which is exactly the same as Baidu Analytics. Okay. And usually when you build a website in China, you include both in your website. You include Google Analytics, which is still okay in China because they have a special mode. It's complicated, it's technical, but it can still work in China so far.
Okay.
Still working. And then we add Google and we add Baidu Tongji. Okay, Baidu Tongji, which is Baidu Analytics by Baidu.
And Google Analytics works also for Baidu website.
Google Analytics will work on your website, on your own website.
Oh, okay, okay.
Let's say you have a Chinese website in China, okay, hosted in China and built only for the Chinese market. You can add Google Analytics and you can have Baidu Tongji. The issue with Baidu Tongji, it's you have to read Chinese.
Ah, okay.
Because you have nothing in English.
Okay, that's a big issue.
You have no English. Okay. If you go to the Baidu Tongji dashboard, it's only in Chinese. Okay, nothing in English.
Okay, thank you.
So the first step is to study Chinese, and then you can use Baidu Tongji. It's a big step. Huh?
Yeah, it can take a few years.
It can take a few years before you can use Baidu Tongji. So Baidu refers 27% to its own brand property. So it's a lot. Huh? On Google, you don't have that much. Something else, it's on the first page of Baidu. Sometimes you can have up to 10 paid advertising slots, which means the full page, the full first page, can be only advertising with Baidu. Okay, full first page. With Google, it's not possible. Google, you have 3 at the top. I don't know, like 5 or 6, maybe 10 on the right side, and 3 at the bottom. With Baidu, no. For some competitive keywords, you can have 10 PPC, 10. Okay, so basically, if you don't pay, you don't play with this one. Huh? Something else, Baidu prioritize. Okay, there is a clear priority to Chinese websites with Baidu. Okay, Baidu discriminates against foreign websites that are hosted in foreign countries. Definitely. Okay, Baidu does not index English. Okay, Baidu index only Chinese. Okay, so if you have only an English website for the Chinese market, it's not going to work with Baidu. Okay, you need a Chinese website, and you need a Chinese website which is hosted in China. Okay, moreover, it censors. Yes, Baidu does censorship. Okay, so you have to make sure your website is clean in terms of what can be sensitive here in China. If you have Tmall Taobao stores, okay, this is my next slide when it will be on. Basically, you will absolutely never find Tmall and Taobao in your search results, okay. Taobao, Tmall is not indexed, okay, they are not indexed by Baidu. It's exactly if I said Amazon is not indexed by Google. Okay, it is a case here in China. Okay, Tmall, Taobao are not indexed by Baidu. Okay, JD either. Okay, and Yihaodian, no. So if you want to buy some traffic, if you want to add some traffic from Baidu to your Tmall store or from Baidu to your JD store, you will have to buy the traffic. Okay, you will have to pay for advertising. Something which is a bit strange with Baidu, it's you can advertise on other brands' name. Yes, it's possible. Okay, which means it's like you have a brand, you can buy your competitors' keywords, okay, and you can buy AdWords, you can buy advertising, okay, based on your competitors' keywords. Okay, you can do that. It's completely doable. It's a very good way to start a brand here in China, because you can eat definitely some other brands' traffic. It's a good way, and we do it a lot for our own clients. In addition to that, we have very few page index.
Just
Yes.
One question. Then, how can we host our website in China? Then,
Sorry, how can you?
How can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. How can we host our website in China then? Do we need a Chinese marketing agency, or do we need to pay a lot more to be hosted in China, or is it quite easy?
It's very easy in China. In China, we have cloud-based company as well, like Amazon Cloud. We have the same here. It's called Aliyun, which is Alibaba Cloud, which means Aliyun means exactly Alibaba Cloud in Chinese. So you can rent a server with them. Okay, it's with them. It's very cheap actually, cheaper than Amazon. Okay, but you need to have your website. You need to have someone to bring your website to the Chinese. Okay, to the Chinese, because they have only support in Chinese. They may have English now, I'm not sure, but last time I checked, they have only Chinese support. But it's very, very easy. Okay, it's very easy to host a website in China. It's not a big deal at all.
Okay, thank you for this information.
So if you have a website, Baidu will index few pages only. So if you have a website with like 10,000 pages, Baidu is not going to index and to record 10,000 pages, okay, maybe half of it, maybe even less. So for your Chinese websites, your homepage is very important, okay. Since Baidu is not going to index everything, you need to have a very good homepage. That's why for a lot of Chinese websites, we have here in China very long homepages. Okay, it's part of the reason. And then very long time of indexation as well. Okay, so Baidu doesn't come to your website every day. If you look at Google, Google comes to your website almost every day. Okay, Google will come and will search for new information and will index it. Google will come maybe once a day, but Baidu will come maybe like once a week. Okay, so it's a lazy search engine. So definitely it's not the good way to publish some news, because especially if you have a news like shorter than 7 days, basically your news will be never indexed by Baidu. The next slide is very interesting. It's what we call the heat map. Okay, it's a comparison between Baidu and Google. This is where people click with Baidu and where people click with Google. Basically, with Google, okay, internet users, they click only on the first 3 to 4, maybe 5 results. That's it. Okay, with Baidu, they click everywhere. Okay, they click absolutely everywhere. Especially they click to next page, next page, next page. Okay, so Chinese users know, actually, they know Baidu, it's full of advertising. So when they want something, they can surf, they can browse to page number 2 or to page number 3. So if your website is on page number 2 or on page number 3 with Baidu, it's not as bad as with Google. Okay, you can still get some traffic even if your website is on page 2 with Baidu. It's very different compared to Google.
Okay, thank you, Cyril. Maybe we can launch the third poll. So do you use Wechat to follow and interact with brands? Okay, we can close the poll now. And it's actually, again, approximately 60% no and 40% yes.
So it's the same Chinese people.
Yeah, probably.
Answering the question. Okay, so let's talk about advertising and social network. So you have to close the poll so I can get.
Yes. Sorry, we are closing
back.
it.
Okay, going to the next one. Okay, let's talk about advertising. So Baidu, they have 4 kind of products. They have keyword-based products, they have targeting products, they have community marketing products, and they have intermediate page products. I'm going to talk only about 3 of them, okay, which are the most used here with Baidu. So the first one is called Baidu P4P or Baidu PPC or whatever. It's very similar to Google AdWords. Very, very, very similar to Google AdWords. Basically, it's exactly the same. Okay. The difference is the format. You may have different formats with Baidu P4P compared to Google AdWords, but if you know how to use Google AdWords, it will be exactly the same for you to understand Baidu P4P. The issue is always the same, okay? Only Chinese interface, okay? So nothing in English, absolutely nothing in English. Okay, so you will need someone, if you don't speak Chinese, or if you don't read Chinese, you will need a Chinese agency to operate for you. But it works exactly the same way. How much does it cost? So it's like Google AdWords, it's the bidding process, okay? So you bid for a price. For your keywords and for your ad. So bid will range between 2 to 10 RMB in average, okay? And you have multiple target options, exactly like with AdWords, geography, demography, retargeting, etc. Okay? Be extremely careful when you come to this market. Cost per click in China is much more expensive than in Europe. Okay? For the same keyword, it's more expensive. We are more on like US-based price here in China. We are not at all on European-based, especially if you come from like West European countries, can be Spain, Italy, whatever, France. We are used to have like cheap CPC, okay, compared to China. It's going to be more expensive here, and sometimes much more expensive. So if you have to take a measure, you can take the US-based. Okay, but definitely not the European-based. The market is much bigger. The market is much bigger, so it makes a lot of sense.
Cyril, do we have any way to assess this the effectiveness of this kind of tool?
Yes, usually when you do like cost per click, when you buy traffic based on keywords, usually you have something called the CTR, click-through rate, which means like how many people can see your ad compared to how many people can click on your ad. This is one of the KPI you can have, and then you can have a very like standard KPI when you do like e-commerce, is like transformation rate, like how many people click on my ad and finally how many people buy on my website. So you can set up easily a lot of KPIs, and Baidu gives you all the tools, exactly like Google Analytics or Google AdWords. Baidu provides all tools needed to assess those KPIs.
Okay, thank you for this
The
clarification.
brand zone, something which does not exist. Yeah, sorry. The brand zone is something does not exist with Google at all. So brand zone is something like this. It's like brand. Okay, brands can buy keywords, and they can monopolize basically 2/3 of the screen. Okay, at the top of the screen. So they do whatever they want within this third of this part of the screen. Usually they do like marketing campaign or whatever within the screen. Okay. They have different formats provided by Baidu, and they have to fit within this format. On mobile, it's even better, because on mobile the brand zone actually monopolize 75% of the screen. Okay. So brands, they are 100% sure basically to capture most of the traffic, okay, for the keywords they buy. How much does it cost and how to buy? So maximum you can buy 200 keywords, okay? Those keywords have to be branded, which means you cannot buy jeans. You have to buy Levi's jeans, okay? You cannot buy bags. You have to buy Gucci bags if you are Gucci, okay? How much does it cost? It costs quite a lot of money. Okay, so from 60,000 RMB, which is around like 10,000 US, plus. It can be much more expensive than that. Okay, depending on the search volume. More you will buy competitive keywords, and more is going to be expensive for the brand. Okay, so there is no fixed price. It's just like you just have to ask Baidu to give you a price for the list of keywords you would like to buy. It's very effective. It's absolutely effective. Okay. Most of the brands, big brands, if you type their name on Baidu, you will see they buy it. Okay. They buy it in Chinese and they buy it in English. So okay. So if you have Sony, they buy the Chinese name and they buy the English name. Something else which is very similar to Google is the display networks. Okay. So you can buy banners on thousands, 100,000 of websites in China, and a very large marketing network is run by Baidu here. Okay, they have around like 600,000 websites in China, covering around like 25 industries, which around like 8 to 10 billion, 8 to 10 billion page views every day. Okay, which is absolutely massive. Okay, so you can buy, and once again you can target. Okay, you can target by interest, by keywords, by territory, by visits, but you have a lot of targeting ways. Okay, not only 4, you have a lot. Okay, like the day of the week, a month, or whatever. You have a lot of targeting ways to target exactly your audience. Okay, who you would like to advertise to. This is very important when you do target marketing and target advertising. Okay, they have much more Baidu. Okay, Baidu they can sell like education, finance, games, whatever. They have a lot of products. Okay, and they can sell a lot of advertising. Okay, it's like Google. They can sell advertising basically on any of their websites. Okay, let's talk briefly about content marketing before we move on to social networks.
Just one more question regarding Baidu. Beside the cost per click CPC, is there any other payments methods like cost per lead or cost per install, or these kind of methods?
Cost per lead, no. They do CPM. Okay, so cost per views basically. Mm-hmm. Okay, and for brand zone, it's something else again. But most of the time with Baidu, it's CPC or CPM.
Okay, thanks.
So cost per click or cost per.
Clear.
Okay, this is one slide. The next one, so not ones you have, but the next one which is coming. So this top information channels for online shopping in China. It is a very important slide to understand. Okay, where Chinese people, they look for information when they want to buy something. Okay. First thing they do, user reviews on social media. Okay. Second thing is word of mouth. Basically, they will go anywhere on the internet to look for information. So it can be like BBS, it can be like question and answers, it can be video, whatever. Number three, e-commerce websites, such as Taobao and everything. Mostly, it's going to be user reviews on e-commerce websites. Okay, what people think about this brand, what people think about this product. And finally, brand official websites. Okay, what does it mean for you in digital marketing? It means you have to be everywhere. You have to be on social media, you have to do word of mouth. If you sell something, you definitely have to be on e-commerce websites, marketplaces, e-tailers, and you need to have a brand official websites. But what you have to keep in mind that those are different ecosystems. Okay, it's what we call Baidu, Tencent, and Alibaba. Okay, like Baidu owns the search, Tencent is the social network company here in China, and Alibaba is e-commerce company. But they don't talk to each other at all. So don't expect to have traffic from like Tmall to your website. It's forbidden. Don't expect to have a link to your official website on WeChat. It's possible only if you stay within WeChat. Okay, you cannot go out. Don't expect to have a link to your Tmall from your WeChat account. It's forbidden, and so on and so on. Okay, so which means you will have to be everywhere, but those ecosystems, okay, they don't talk to each other. It's completely blocked. Completely blocked. Keep this in mind, it's very important. So what is content marketing? This is a long way to go, but this is the only sustainable way. I will explain to you why. So content marketing is any marketing format that involves the creation and sharing of media and publishing content in order to acquire customers. Okay, this is what we call content marketing. It's going to be my next slide. It's not on yet. Just a matter of time. Okay, you got it now. Okay, this is what we call content marketing. So in China, we do content marketing. We don't really do SEO. Okay, SEO or like search engine optimization. SEO is just part of content marketing in China. Okay, a typical cycle. You research the information you would like to publish. You create it. Okay, you draft it. You optimize it, you publish it, you promote it, and finally you measure it. It's a typical content marketing cycle. And finally, depending on what you would like to push in terms of information or in terms of feeling, okay, to your audience, you are going to push it on different places. Okay, so if you want like consideration, you will do social ads, reviews, blogs, and media. If you want to do purchase, you will do e-commerce, store and website. Retention, it's more like FAQ, forum, and so on. Okay, and different content, of course, for different websites and for different what's called inventory in our business. So SEO, I guess you know what is SEO, so I'm not going to spend time on this one. Okay, SEO stands for search engine optimization, and SEO in China is just part of it. So content marketing is like you draft some information and you publish it. Okay. In China, you have a lot of ways to publish information. Okay. It can be like Baidu, of course, definitely. It can be BBS, can be video platform, can be blogs, can be everything else. Okay. You can do news and everything. Okay. You have a lot of ways, but everything starts from content. You have to draft your own content. So we do recommend what we call a global traffic approach, okay, which is much more important. SEO will be just one leverage, and then everything else, which is word of mouth, content marketing, are very efficient in China, and you have to do it, okay? But it's going to cost money in terms of content, because you will need to draft content, okay? So the best content you can find in China is video. Okay, it's video. Video is the best content for advertising, and it's the best content format for content marketing. But for sure, it's the most expensive to do. Okay, the next one will be definitely visual, banner. Okay, but still it's the last one will be copywriting. Still okay, is good as well, but the effect is not as good as creative. Okay, let's talk about
Cyril?
work.
We have some
Can you still hear
difficulty.
me?
Yes, but we had, well, the line was
Hello?
cutting off a little bit. So if you can just repeat the few last points you mentioned, that would be great for the participants, I think. About the last slide.
Hello, I'm back. My audio is back. Hello?
Hello, I can hear you again. Thanks, Cyril. If you could just repeat the main elements you mentioned before the chapter 5, that would be definitely great.
Okay, so let's get back to this. So we recommend what we call a global traffic approach. Okay, so SEO is just one leverage, only one. Okay, and then word of mouth and content marketing are efficient. What I said earlier is video is the best format in China. Okay, if you can draft and produce video, is good. It is the best in terms of CTR. It is the best in terms of impact and so on. So number 2 will be creative, visual, banners, whatever. Okay, it's good for like any content you would like to share. Is better than a text. Finally, it will be text. Okay, of course, video is the one. Okay, and that is the most efficient. Do a mix. We do articles because it's good to have like linking. It's good to have like EPR and so on. But if we can have video, it's good. And if we can have and we do creative as well. Okay, we do 3 kinds of format. And then we publish it everywhere. Social network. Okay, we have big players in China. All right, we have Wechat, Weibo, and QQ. We are going to talk about more. Weibo is still okay. Okay, it's not dead, but we will focus more on the Weixin users. This is number of users. This is quite a lot of users. Okay, so now we expect this one is a bit old now. We like Wechat users around like 500 and Sina Weibo around 750 million. Why Weibo, why Wechat is so powerful? It's because of this, okay? Because of what we call monthly active users, okay? Wechat is crazy. Everybody uses Wechat in China, okay? And we use it in China around like 20 to 25 times a day, okay? It's mostly what we do the first when we get up and when we sleep. Okay, this is true in China.
This is absolutely
true. It's very good for a brand actually to engage. Yeah, it's completely true. So it's very good for a brand to engage followers with WeChat. Okay, why WeChat is so powerful is because of the number of users. It's because of the number of active users. Okay, people that are really using the platform, sharing with the platform. Okay, if you compare to Facebook, Facebook is 25%. That's it. Okay, with WeChat, 100% of the users are engaging users. They are using WeChat. Oops. I go to the next one. So in China, we have around like 2/3 of the Chinese social media users that follow a brand. Okay, 2/3, which is quite a lot. Okay, compared to 53 in the US. And we have a penetration rate of 99%. I can say like 100%. Okay, basically I can tell you any mobile phone users in China that use and they have WeChat. So the social networks are incredibly powerful, much more than in the rest of the world because of one app. and this app is Wechat. That's it. So how do we use both? So Weibo, we use it more like I can really compare Weibo to a Twitter. Okay, Weibo is like Twitter. It's what we call a media platform for masses. Strong dissemination power. We deliver brand message and campaigns to fans, definitely. We use now Weibo more as a news outlet, and we use Weibo more with KOL. KOL is what we call key opinion leaders. Okay, so we hire KOL, we provide them content, and they publish the content on their Weibo. This is the way we use Weibo these days, plus advertising, of course. And Wechat, which is called Weixin in Chinese, it's like one-to-one relationship. It's completely private. Okay, so we provide like VIP services. We do a lot of things with Wechat. But let's go through it. So Wechat, if you don't know it, Wechat, it's a mix of a lot of things. Okay, a bit of WhatsApp, but definitely it's not WhatsApp. A bit of Pinterest, a bit of Skype, a bit of Kakao Talk, a bit of Instagram. It's a bit of everything. And I will add a bit of Taobao, a bit of eBay, a bit of everything. So it says, and they add features all the time. So with Wechat, you have to open an account if you're a brand. Okay, you can open what we call an official account. Okay, you have two kinds of official account, especially if you are not in China. Okay, if you have no business license in China, you have access to this, only what you see on your screen now, only of these features, okay? Group messaging, pre-program response, direct response, manage followers, manage content, and analytics, okay? If you are not in China. If you are in China, you have access to much more, actually, okay? You have access to more features from the platform. And something else you have to do, you have to verify, you have to approve your account. And for this, you will need a business license in China, and you will need, most of the time, you will need a brand which will be registered in China. Okay, so we have two kinds of accounts in China, which is subscription account, which are subscription account and service accounts. Okay, I will give you a better explanation of what is a service account and what is a subscription account. What do we do with Wechat? So it's my next slide. So we do what we call reputation. So we do content marketing. We do customer service with Wechat, definitely. Okay. We do activation. Okay. We do QR code. We do mobile coupon. We do payment with Wechat. We do loyalty. We do CRM with Wechat. We do mobile commerce with Wechat. And finally, we do awareness with Wechat. We do mini site. We do push. We do EDM, so which means like electronic direct messages. Okay, we send like push to a lot of people in Wechat. Okay, it's on my slide, but my slide is not yet on. It's a bit slow. Okay, here you go. Okay, you have the slide here. So reputation, okay, loyalty, activation, and awareness. Okay, this is a typical leverages we use with Wechat. My next slide is quite interesting. It's like media social platforms Wechat functionalities. Okay, it was I guess it's a L2 survey here in China. So what brands they do with Wechat? Okay, most of them they have what we call custom tabs. Okay, custom tabs is like basically kind of a mini site within Wechat. Okay, most of them as well they do like contest and sampling and offer. Okay, something we do a lot. We do a lot of contests actually with Wechat, like lucky draw, whatever, or send me a picture and I will give you something. Okay, send me a picture of you using our product and I will give you something. This is what we do with Wechat, and we do it quite a lot. So that's click to call or customer service. Definitely, okay, Wechat, it's a customer service tool. Okay, especially if you do e-commerce, you can do a lot of business with Wechat. Not many people will buy with Wechat, but they will call your call center or they will chat with you. You have e-commerce links as well with Wechat, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, but you can do push to JD, you can do push to Yihaodian, to Wedai or whatever, but not to Tmall. Huh? Keep in mind there are two different bodies. You can't push anything to Tmall. So Geolocalization for store locator, definitely. So with WeChat, we can do a lot of what we call online to offline activities. WeChat, it's a good tool to leverage retail store, to leverage offline stores, okay, to drive traffic to store. Loyalty programs, live chat, and finally a bit and only a bit of e-commerce on WeChat. Most of the e-commerce with WeChat will be done through JD or through eHarvey. Okay, very interesting to understand this kind of stuff. I told you you have two kind of accounts. So when you push some information, it's on my next slide. When you push some information, depending of your account, actually, if you have subscription or service account, you will push it in a different way. Okay, if you have service account, you have to click on subscription account and then you can see the message. If you have a service account, you can see on your timeline, which is much better, of course, but which is limited. Okay, with service account, you can push only once, not a month, as is written here, but once a week, actually. And on subscription accounts, you can push once a day. Okay, so once every 24 hours. So basically, you will open a service account if you want to provide services to your customers, and you would like to open a subscription account if you want to push some information to your customer. The next slide is some samples on some mini sites. So it's very well designed. By the way, you can do a lot of things. It's HTML5 based. Okay, it can be based on your mobile website. If you have a mobile website, your WeChat mini site can point to your website just like you have to make sure it's working well with WeChat browsers, okay? Because you are not going to go out of WeChat. You are going to browse your website within your within the WeChat browser. So the next one is subscription account. Okay, it's some examples of subscription account. Finally, the benefits. Okay, the benefits you can have by using WeChat. So one of the biggest benefits is you notify users immediately. Okay, and your message is almost guaranteed to be read with a service account. Why? Because once again, we use WeChat in China all the time. All the time. Okay, absolutely all the time. But, and there is a very big but in China with WeChat, it's users, they have to opt in. Okay, which means they have to follow you before you can talk to them. If they don't follow you, there is no way you send them a message. Okay, the only way will be advertising. Okay, but if you want to talk to your brand lovers, if they don't follow you, you don't talk to them, which means it's very hard to recruit followers on WeChat. Okay, then the first thing to do is to recruit followers on WeChat. It's acquisition. You need to acquire followers before you do anything on WeChat. Okay, you can do a lot of exclusivity and personalization on WeChat. It's another benefits. Okay, you have to think one-to-one, but you don't broadcast on WeChat. Okay, basically on WeChat it's very personalized. It's very exclusive. Okay, we call this a circle of trust with brands. Okay, it's really brand lovers. Okay, so with Weibo you can have like Weibo official accounts with millions of followers in China. Okay, it's very easy to have few millions of followers on Weibo. On WeChat, it's very complicated. Okay, on WeChat, if you have few 100,000 followers on WeChat, you are a good brand already, and you have a lot of brand lovers already. So last one, I just want to say one last word on WeChat. It's a great CRM tool. Okay, definitely you can use WeChat especially to push some data to collect some data. It's a very great tool in terms of CRM. So I just want to give you some takeaways, and then we will move on to the Q&A session. So one thing, and we haven't talked about e-commerce here in China, but we just talked about digital marketing. However, if you do e-commerce in China, it's all about marketplace in China. So you will have to do SEO, digital marketing, and whatever on marketplaces and on e-tailers. Okay? If you do e-commerce in China, Digital marketing on Baidu, digital marketing on Wechat are not enough, not sufficient, not at all. Okay, you will have to do SEO on Tmall. You will have to do some digital marketing campaigns on Yihaodian or JD. Okay, just keep this in mind. Very, very important if you do e-commerce in China. Okay, don't try to bring like thousands of don't spend like thousands of US$ every day and trying to bring some traffic to your website. It's not going to be efficient if you do e-commerce in China. And finally, the last takeaway will be like go far, far beyond SEO. Okay, SEO is something maybe very popular in the West, okay, especially in Europe or in the US or whatever. Here, SEO, it's only part of it, okay. Do content marketing, do social media, do advertising, and do mobile, okay. So it's a bit more complicated because the website is not everywhere, okay. Your website won't be everywhere. You will need to do content marketing on Baidu websites. You will need to have your own biker. You will need to create your own question and answers, and so on. But go far, far, far beyond SEO. Very, very, very far. Okay, I'm done. I hope it was useful and not too Chinese. So we are open for the Q&A session. If you have some, Audrey.
Yes, Cyril, thank you very much for this presentation. I think we went through all the different tools and how to market your products and your commercial activities in China. So that's really interesting. Well, we will take one last question because we are already coming to the end of this webinar. But I would like to know what would be your suggestion if we want to advertise Tmall store through the different Chinese social market mix you mentioned before.
If you have a Tmall store, my first recommendation would be you buy traffic on Alibaba. Okay? You buy traffic on Taobao, you buy traffic on Alibaba, what's called Alimama, which is Alibaba display networks here in China. If you have Tmall only, you buy within the Alibaba ecosystem, and you will spend most of your budget there. And then for branding purposes, not for e-commerce purposes, but for branding purposes, you may do content marketing out of Alibaba ecosystem, and which will be first Baidu and then social. Okay. The issue in China is you cannot say like I will do social first and then Baidu. Actually, you have to do both. There is no priority.
Cyril, we can't hear
Yes,
you anymore. Oh, okay, you're back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you?
We can't hear you anymore. Well, one more maybe, because I remember that was a question during a previous conference we have done together. Regarding the ICP license, is it absolutely needed to have a web page or a website in China?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If you want to host a website in China, you have no choice. You need to get an ICP. Okay, there is no way you will host your website in China without ICP.
Okay, I think we should close the webinar session now. So thank you to all the participants, because I know that it's not easy to find always 1 hour to stand for this kind of webinar. So thank you for your participation and all your questions that make the session very interactive, and that's really good. Thank you, Cyril, for this really interesting presentation. And we hope to welcome you for the next session quite soon. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye, Cyril.